with the media, we need to be able to get the truth out.
So what is the issue?
Okay, we've just served documents to the police, their arrest warrants, and these arrest warrants consist of charge sheets relative to the Australian Parliament, all of the Parliament, the court orders of the Commonwealth Government, warrant of international common law signed, warrant of assets, international common law, verdict and arrest warrant and sentences, public warrant to seize the COVID vaccine, the wrongful COVID vaccine. The charge sheet and the summons, the instrument number, so as that everyone knows about it, is E for egg, a hyphen, V for Veronica, R for red, 2022. And the accused is Prime Minister Scott Morrison, Governor-General David Hurley, Governor of New South Wales Margaret Beazley, Governor of Victoria Linda Dessau, Governor of South Australia Hugh Van Lee, and it goes on and on and on. And there's also an extremely important person listed on here, the Premier of Queensland, Anastasia Palaszczuk. So we've taken a charge sheet and a summons and numerous amounts of paperwork, and we've just filed it here in the Townsville Police Station in Stanley Street, and it's got to be enacted by the 31st of this month. Also in Coomera this morning, there was a charge case number listed, Q for Queensland, I for Indigo, 2201 28489. And the police at Coomera have accepted it. So basically, same as here, it's just been accepted here at the Townsville Police.
The same as New South Wales.
So can you tell me how successful you think you're going to be in basically suing the Prime Minister?
We're not going to sue them. We're actually going to arrest them for crimes. They've committed crimes against humanity. There's numerous amounts of crimes that have actually been listed on here. These are all the counts, and it goes on and on and on. And it will be proved or proven in an international court.
So tell me, I guess, what the police response was to...
They were very kind. They were very helpful to us. Gentleman in here, he was very helpful. We are hoping to be able to get the police on board because let's face it, if the police came on board, it would probably stop 3/4 of the crime in Townsville. It would stop the majority of the crime in Australia. Crime has just grown and grown and grown. We've had politicians that are saying, oh, they come to Townsville today, Palaszczuk's here today, and she promises that they're going to bring crime rates down. Still hasn't happened. It's spiralling upwards. It's just going berserk. So basically, we need to be able to stop all that as men and women of Townsville and of the country of Australia.
So is it crime or the COVID vaccine that's the issue, or is it both?
It's both. It's both. Because, see, the thing is the COVID vaccine has become a political football. You know, politicians think that they are in charge of us, but they have to start to realise that we are in charge of them. They work for us. It's like the police. The police are put there to protect, to serve and protect. It's become to serve and collect. So it has to stop. We have to take back our country, and we're not talking about aggressive take back. We're talking about peaceful. We're about peace. We're about pro-vaccine, pro-choice. If you want to have a vaccine, that's fine. You have a vaccine. If you don't, you don't. But the politicians now want to force it onto our kids, which I think is absolutely disgusting, how they're forcing it onto our kids.
Is the group here, how many would you say there is, and are these Townsville locals? Or?
They're all Townsville locals. All these guys are Townsville locals. That's probably about an eighth of what we actually have there. In our group we have about 700 and growing rapidly. So have the Townsville Common Law Assembly now, which started about 4 weeks ago. So people are more than welcome to come along and find out what the real law is. This law that these politicians have passed on through generations over the last 50 years are not your law, not my law. It's basically their law, which is statute law. We want people's law, men and women's law, so we can live peacefully. That's what it's all about.
The majority of the population would say that the politicians do make law on the majority's behalf as their elected representatives. That's their job. What do you say to that?
They're not allowed to unless they have a referendum, and they ignore our right to have a referendum, and they've been doing it for 50 years. Now, basically, we have a constitution, and a constitution from Quick and Garran, 1901 constitution. They've ignored that constitution and they've written their own constitution. Number one, they didn't have a referendum to put that constitution or enact that constitution. They've put a Queen of Australia in, which is a paper queen. They don't even recognise the Queen of England, which is in the 1901 constitution. So what they're doing is treason, and it's actually illegal, and it's against the men and women of this country.
So do you expect to see now the Premier and the Prime Minister be arrested by police?
I hope so. I surely hope so. And there's a lot more that need to go, behind bars. It's what they're doing is criminal.
I guess, are you guys part of the groups that have been doing sort of anti-vaccine protests along the Strand and things like that, or is this a separate?
No, we've been involved in that as well. I mean, we're like the rest of Australia. I mean, if you have a look at the whole lot of Australia and you look out there, and the media are not reporting this, if you look out there and have a look at the hundreds of thousands of people that are marching, and you ask the question, why? How come all of a sudden these people have just turned up and started marching?
Millions.
There's millions, absolutely millions of people. And it's worldwide. Have a look worldwide. So, I mean, we've actually been interviewed by the Townsville Bulletin, and that's that's a waste of time. When they interview us, all they do is they put that there was a few people turned up to a march. Well, we had 2,000 people last weekend at the march. So, I mean, and it's growing. There's numerous amounts of business in this town that are upset by all this, by the whole lot of it. They're just sick of it. The amount of business that has been lost, businesses that have closed, and I mean, let's face it, it's not about COVID, it's about control. And that's what they're trying to do. It's world control. And every single person around the world that are going to these marches know exactly what's going on. They know it's about control. It's got nothing to do with a pretend virus.
Can I just grab your name and how to spell it out?
Yeah, my name's Peter. I'm from the family of Rogers, R-O-G-E-R-S. Yep.
Great, thanks, Peter.
Lovely.
So
Thank you very much.
What are those documents called? Their arrest?
There's arrest warrants. I've just given them to him, so I can't actually show you, but they're arrest warrants. Actually, hang on, I've got a list here somewhere. Where's that list? No, mate. That's what they are. Charge sheet, court orders, a warrant for international common law, warrant of assets, international common law, verdict, and a public warrant to seize the COVID vaccine, and a protection order.
Do you mind if I take a photo of the...
No, actually what you can do is you can take a photo of that, because Coomera, that's their number.
That's actual police charge number, file number for registering fines. They actually register.
And have you got the one that has a list of all the people?
Yeah, the charge sheet.
So, sorry for butting in, that report number.
There it is.
Report number is actually being reported in the Queensland government as a crime. So they're actually accepting it as being a crime.
It's already been, that's a instrument number that's been issued by Coomera Police.
So that's Queensland Police.
So that number our number will be referenced to that as well. It's served in Ingham. It's been served all around Queensland today.
It's been served in
New South Wales yesterday.
Served, the House was actually served today. They accepted the actual charges.
Yep.
It's
So
not,
we don't know.
Actually say it's actually make a motion. It's actually legitimate information. Actually legitimate criminal charge that's uncovered by that. That's honest truth.
And if they don't,
report number for shits and giggles. So it's actually official. It's legit. This is what we really like. That's what I was saying to you. We can give you the real story and give you the real info. As long as it gets portrayed in that way. I know you got bosses and you got people you got to go through. And this is where the problem is of misinformation, where they call people like the rallies anti-vaxxers. No anti-vaxxers. It's pro-choice. You're a human. You got the right. You want to get a jab or not, so you can live a life. When this became that you don't have a jab, you can't go to it. You can't go get food. You can't do etc. etc. So this is what it's all about. It's about pro-choice, not about anti-vaxxers, the whole society is corrupt and this etc. It's not going a nut job ranting for this is what we're trying to get at. And this is what we want the media. We love the media to actually listen to the story. Look at the evidence, look at the paperwork, and show that.
It's gone.
Make a difference. That's what we're getting at, and that's what we want. We're not here for violence. We're not here to cause noise or disrupt. We're here to raise our voice. As a human right you have, you're allowed to raise your voice and say yes or no. No one's allowed to at the moment. That is the problem.
See, the thing is as per the Constitution, and you would not remember this because you're too young, but as per the Constitution, but everyone should know that we've got a Constitution. It's 1901 Constitution. The politicians got it in 75 and changed it, wrote their own, which is actually illegal. What they've done, they've committed treason. So if they do not act upon this, and it's been served upon them by the 31st of this month, they'll all be held in treason. Rightio, so basically it's been served, and it's served correctly, signed off by Chief Justice and numerous amounts of other things. But
So
yeah.
what page are you guys streaming this to?
Sorry?
What's the name of the organisation or the
It's
page?
actually I'll give you one of these. That's who we represent.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Townsville Common Law Assembly, you're more than welcome to come along.
Yeah. Give us a call.
Yeah,
We're happy to have a proper sit down and show and discuss stuff. We want that. We really do. We're not trying to hide by the cameras like spooks or be, as you say, tinfoil hats. We really want to get people to understand where we're coming from, and we really want people to wake up already, because you're right.
Oh, they're waking up. They're waking up.
Yeah, you see the numbers. It keeps on going. Australia, worldwide.
And you should have seen, like,
they got served. When did UK get served?
What's that? The UK? Oh, that was weeks ago now.
Weeks ago. And what
That
have
was
UK done recently? Wipe all vaccine passports and wipe also.
You've heard
Yes.
Boris get on
They're not
international
forcing-
TV and actually say that?
No vaccines.
It's
Yeah.
it's on live and international.
Yeah.
All of it, because they've been served. They know what's coming to them.
No vaccines,
Now
no
they're trying to
vaccine
play-
passports.
Yep.
The
So,
Happy Medium tried to kick the positions and work with the people. The people
Okay.
have woken up, and the people
Yeah.
of Australia have woken up and have enough.
And I was going to say here on the Australian, like when we do our rallies and that, you'll see every time that the next rally comes along, we're getting a different cross-section of the population as well. We were, maybe some of our older, 70s kind of generation, but now we've got the young families, we've got the mothers, the fathers, we've got the teenagers, we've got the young kids, and they're all coming out,
Yeah.
aren't they? They really
there's a
are.
lot of people. There's
It's
so
not
many
just
businesses.
a select little group, it's a cross-section.
I've been approached by so many businesses there. We've got 2 or 3 guys that have got business that come along all the time, and basically what's happened is that they've said, when we get something positive that happens, we'll come out and support you. So there's so many people that have not been jabbed, that are in business, that have lost so much revenue from their business. I know of people myself. There's probably 8 people that I know have closed their business, and they're locals. They've been in business for years. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Just don't get mean. As I said, look, you got on a bus, reach out.
Yeah.
We've got nothing to hide.
Yep.
We
What was your name? Sorry. Luke. Oh, no, sorry.
Is that yours?
No, that's Janine's.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So So look, yeah, there is. You can actually see a lot of information. You'll be able to see real documents that's been served. And look, go back, have a look at the UK. What they did, what he said, they wiped it. Someone that was more stricter than Australia after they've been served. Saying, guys, no.
See, the politicians are starting to realise that they've been caught. They're caught out because there's numerous amount, like those charges that are on that charge sheet are only just minuscule as to what these guys have done.
To your local premiers, yeah.
So-
It's going to go down that chain, but step
Yeah.
by step.
Yeah, well, you can.
Ask them.
Yeah.
These shots and then we'll have to head off.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Who's got it?
No, I got it here.